Hi everyone, it's Julie, and today I thought I'd run through some different sorts of glues with you. I met someone who's a beginner at paper crafting the other day, and she said that she really had trouble with deciding which glues to use with what, and that's something that used to really bother me when I started paper crafting years and years ago. I never used to know which glue to use. So after the years that I've been paper crafting, these are the things that I always use. There's ordinary double-sided tape, which you can get from most retailers and online retailers. Then there's the red tape, which is much stronger adhesive again than this one, and I would use those two in card making, just matting and layering for card making, almost always just that. I don't use them in my mini albums very often, and I don't use it in scrapbooking all that often either. If I'm going to use any tape in my scrapbooking or my mini albums, I'm now using this tape, which I know is acid free, and because I want to keep it for a long time, I know that won't discolour the pages or any of the photos if it comes in contact with them. This is much stronger again than the other two tapes, and again you can get them in all different widths, all these tapes. So that's the double-sided tapes that I use. And then wet glue. The wet glue that I always use is this quick dry Scotch adhesive. I use that because it's photo safe and it's acid free, and I use that most of the time in my mini albums or my scrapbooking. I don't use it to mat and layer thin paper. It's got to be fairly thick paper, sort of graphic 45 paper. If it's very thin paper and you use wet adhesive, it will cockle the paper and it will rise up and you'll have lumps and bumps in it, which you don't want. So that is the reason why you use dry adhesives like the tape on those sort of things. But as I said, this is, because it's acid free, I can use this in anything. I can use it in all my mini albums, and I haven't got to worry about it being kept for a long time. So that's my preference in wet glue. Let's look at the dimensional adhesives. For those I use diamond glaze or glossy accents. I prefer diamond glaze out of the two, but it's not as easy to get hold of as the glossy accents is. That's just my personal preference. I don't hardly ever use them as ordinary glue. I only use them as dimensionals, so I use it when I want to accent things on scrapbooks and cards, like this, just make those clock faces dimensional. So I don't use those, although you can, as glue. I also use this lick and stick remoistenable glue. So you put some glue on the edge of your envelope and then it dries, and then you can moisten it and it will re-stick. So this, it turns out like the ordinary envelopes that you buy, the adhesive on those. So I use that sometimes when I'm making the envelopes. The thing I use is glue dots. Lots of different size glue dots. There's great big ones. These are great big pop dots, great big ones there, huge ones. Look like a sweet. You can eat those, don't they? And you also can get little tiny mini ones, and I wouldn't be without these. Use those for any sort of embellishments I want to put on, bows, flowers, that sort of thing. That's what I use for that. The other glue I use is this E6000. It is fantastic glue. I've stuck that metal catch on to the front of my album there with that, and it's on there absolutely firmly. It's fantastic, really good. You can put all sorts of metals. That's what I normally use when I want metals, or if I've got something really dimensional that I'm worried it's not going to stick properly with ordinary glue. If I put that on, it's absolutely rock solid. It's flexible and it's waterproof, and you can paint over it as well. And it's industrial strength glue, and that is, well, I wouldn't be without that. Definitely wouldn't be without that one. The other thing is dimensional squares, of course. You use those in card making, some scrapbooking, and those are just to lift things off the page. So if you want to 3D something and bring it up, you can use some of those. There's white ones And you can also get black ones. That's the stick it one, the black one. And I also use foam tape, which again you can use in the same way as this, but you've got it in bigger pieces there. I also get one reel and I go over the sides of it with a permanent black marker, so that if I've got black card I'm using, then I use that. So there's that, and I also use that when I make shaker cards. So you have to have that to make a shaker card, so that's another thing I use that for. Some other things I use too is this colour Collal. It's photo glue. There's lots of people that sell this, rubber cement, so it doesn't affect the photographs. I don't usually put my photographs on with that, I have to say. I do use it sometimes, but again on photographs that don't really matter too much, that are, you know, not really special photographs then. The things I use if I'm going to put some special photographs down in an album or scrapbook are the Scotch photo splits, and they come in a little reel, and they come out of the box as a dispenser, and they're little photo strips, and you just pick them off, and they're sticky. Ooh, they're sticky on both sides, so you pop them on your photo and then they're sticky to stick down, and they're acid free, so they won't affect your photograph. So that's what I use when I'm using photographs that I want to keep, and make sure that they don't go a funny colour or it doesn't affect them. That's that. So the other thing I wouldn't be without is my A2G guns. The yellow one I've got 1/2 inch tape in, and that's ordinary tape, and my pink one I've got 1/4 inch tape in, and that's the acid free tape. So I use those a lot. In card making I use the ordinary one, and if I need some tape in my scrapbooks I use that acid free 1/4 inch one. And that's the refills, the tapes that go in them. That's a Scotch acid free one, and then there's the ordinary tape that goes in the 1/2 inch gun. So another adhesive I use is my trusty old, as you can see, heat gun, which is the oldest heat gun. Look at it, it's absolutely disgusting. And of course you buy the glue sticks to go in them, and that's a hot glue, so be very careful if you have one of these, because they can burn you very easily. Mine's actually every bit's dropped off, there's bits off it, it's disgusting, absolutely. Really need a new one. But I use this when I want something really stuck. Use it on canvases, if I'm sticking things on canvases, flowers, if I'm doing a spray of flowers, that sort of thing, use that. So there's that. And then lastly, it's the multi-mediums that I use. These happen to be Claudine Helmuth ones, Studio multi-mediums. I use the matte one more than the gloss because I like a matte finish on things, but you can use these on canvas or wood, board, chipboard, that sort of thing, and you can use those as a glue. There are other things that they're for as well, but as we're just talking about glues, that's what I use on my canvases. So there's those. So I hope you found that useful. If you've got any questions, if you need to know where to get any of these things from, then just let me know. Just put a message underneath, and I'll try and answer you. And hope to see you soon for another tutorial. See you later, bye.